Today, we're exploring a pretty radical new idea in education. What if an AI wasn't just some tool you use for a single assignment, but a genuine learning partner that actually grew with you for your entire life? I know, it's a huge idea, so let's dive right in.
Okay, so let's start with this number. The global market for education technology is, well, it's colossal. We're talking over $340 billion, and it's growing like crazy. We have more learning tools at our fingertips than at any point in history. But with all that investment, it kind of begs a pretty big question. Right? Despite all this money and all this tech, for most of us, education can still feel like you're on an assembly line. It's a standardized, one-size-fits-all experience. It's a huge paradox, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
So here's the heart of that paradox. We are spending billions and billions of dollars, but are we really personalizing the journey for each and every learner? Well, the data suggests we've still got a long, long way to go.
And this really highlights the disconnect. Get this. A staggering 86% of college students are already using AI. But, and this is the key, they're using it for specific isolated tasks, right? Not as a persistent partner in their own development. That incredible potential for a deeper, ongoing relationship is just completely untapped.
So how do we bridge that gap? How do we go from a simple tool to a true partner? Let's shift away from the problem and start looking at a brand new vision for what AI and learning could actually be. It's time to meet the concept of an AI companion. And here it is. This is SocialEdu. Now, the core idea is simple, but it is profound. This is an AI designed not for a single session, not for one subject, but to be a long-term partner. You know, one that learns about you, that remembers your progress, and that genuinely grows alongside you for years.
So what really makes this concept different? Well, it all boils down to these three key characteristics you see here. First, a long-term identity, meaning it actually remembers your journey. Second, it's cross-domain, so it's not just helping with calculus, but with personal and social growth too. And third, it's got a social native design, so it integrates into the platforms we're already using every single day.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, I've seen AI tutors before. What's the big deal? But this concept is fundamentally different from the tools that we're all used to.
Let's just frame it with this really simple comparison. On one side, you have your typical session-based tutors. They're great for a single problem, but they basically forget you exist the moment you log off. On the other side, you have a long-term companion, something that builds a continuous, evolving relationship with you over time. And this table really clarifies where things stand right now. I mean, tools like Conmigo and Duolingo Max are fantastic, but they're session-based and they're siloed by subject. Then you have apps like Character.ai, which offer that social presence but lack any real educational purpose. SocialEd aims to bridge that exact gap, combining that multi-year continuity with real pedagogical value. So the crucial point is this. The real innovation here isn't just another shiny piece of technology. It's about building a system with a clear educational purpose, one that's designed from the ground up based on the science of how we actually learn. It's an ambitious idea, for sure. But how would it actually work? How do you build this thing? Let's take a look at the blueprint to see how this could become a reality. At its heart is a really sophisticated content pipeline. The AI doesn't just spit out answers. It actually plans based on real educational goals, generates content in all sorts of formats, runs it through quality and safety checks, and then personalizes it just for you before it even gets to you. So how does it remember you? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a human brain. It would have episodic memory for your past interactions, what you've learned before, semantic memory for facts, procedural memory for what learning strategies work best for you, and even prospective memory to help you plan for your future goals. And this timeline shows that this isn't just some futuristic fantasy. It's a structured 3-year research plan with clear, concrete milestones, from building the foundation all the way to running pilot studies and publishing the results. This is about building something real and scientifically validated. Okay, but building something this powerful, it comes with massive potential, but it also comes with some really serious responsibilities. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the real-world implications, the good and the bad.
The promise is just immense. I mean, imagine a K-12 tutor that stays with a child across all subjects and all grade levels. Or a companion in college helping you navigate not just your degree, but also your well-being. Or even a partner for lifelong learning, guiding you through major career changes. But let's be real, with any long-term relationship, there's a risk of unhealthy dependency. The key to mitigating this is to design for healthy boundaries right from the start, with built-in limits and prompts that actually encourage real-world human connection. Another critical risk is creating a new digital divide, right? How do we make sure this benefits everyone, not just the wealthy? The plan is to focus on a design that works on low bandwidth connections and even has offline capabilities. The goal is true equity of access. And of course, in education, accuracy is completely non-negotiable. So, to combat the risk of AI hallucinations or just plain being wrong, the system would use a multi-layer verification process, grounding its answers in reliable sources and using human oversight to make sure the quality is there. This all comes together in a philosophy of responsible innovation, built on these 5 pillars: being honest about what's actually new, being specific in its theory, realistic about the tech, measured in its claims, and, most importantly, proactive about the ethics from day one. So ultimately, we're left with this thought. We already have AIs that can teach us things. That part's getting easier. But the true frontier, the grand challenge, is creating an AI that we can truly trust, not just with our homework, but with our growth as a person for the long haul. And that's the question that's really worth thinking about.